Let's explore the useEffect hook in React. In this video, you will learn how to use useEffect to manage side effects and component lifecycle events in React applications. This hook is essential for performing tasks like data fetching, subscriptions, and DOM manipulation in functional components. So, what exactly is useEffect? It is a React hook that allows you to perform side effects in functional components. Side effects are operations that interact with things outside the component, such as fetching data from an API, directly updating the DOM, or setting up subscriptions. useEffect helps in handling these side effects and managing the component's lifecycle. It also replaces class methods commonly used in class-based components. Let's examine the basic syntax of useEffect. First, import the useEffect hook from the React library. Then call the useEffect function, passing in two arguments. The first argument is the effect function, which contains the code that performs the side effect. The second argument is the dependency array. This array determines when the effect function will run. If the array is empty, the effect runs only once after the initial render. If the array contains variables, the effect runs whenever any of those variables change. If the array is not present, the effect runs after every render. The two main parts of useEffect are the effect function, which contains the side effect logic, and the dependency array, which controls when the effect runs. There are three main ways to use useEffect, depending on the dependency array you provide. The first type is useEffect with no dependencies. When you leave the dependency array empty, the effect runs after every render of the component. This is useful for side effects that need to happen on every update. The second type is useEffect with an empty array as the dependency. In this case, the effect runs only once when the component is first mounted. This is commonly used for initial setup tasks, like fetching data or setting up event listeners. The third type is useEffect with dependencies. Here you provide an array of values. The effect runs when the component initially mounts, and then again whenever any of the values in the dependency array change. The useEffect hook plays a key role in managing the component lifecycle. The component lifecycle consists of three main phases: mount, update, and unmount. During the mount phase, the component is created and added to the DOM, and the useEffect hook with an empty dependency array will execute its effect once. During the update phase, the component re-renders due to changes in state or props, and useEffect will execute its effect after each render if no dependency array is provided, or when the values in the dependency array change. Finally, during the unmount phase, the component is removed from the DOM. useEffect can optionally include a cleanup function that is executed during the unmount phase. Cleanup functions are an important part of using useEffect correctly. By returning a function from within the useEffect hook, this function will be called before the component unmounts, or before the next time the effect runs. It prevents memory leaks by cleaning up subscriptions, timers, and event listeners when the component unmounts or when the dependencies change. Here is an example. Let's set up a timer using setInterval. Then return a function that calls clearInterval on the timer. This will stop the timer when the component unmounts or before the effect runs again. Here are some common use cases for the useEffect hook. Data fetching. Use useEffect to fetch data from APIs when the component mounts or when certain dependencies change. Subscriptions. Subscribe to external data sources, such as WebSockets or event listeners, and make sure to clean up these subscriptions when the component unmounts. Timers. Set up intervals or timeouts that need to be cleared when the component unmounts. DOM updates. Directly manipulate DOM elements or update the document title. Let's review some best practices for using useEffect. Always include all values from the component scope that are used inside the effect in the dependency array. This ensures that the effect runs whenever those values change. Return cleanup functions for subscriptions and event listeners. This prevents memory leaks. Avoid missing dependencies that can cause infinite re-renders. Be careful about performing expensive operations directly in useEffect. If necessary, consider using techniques like debouncing or throttling to limit the frequency of these operations. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit CodeLucky.com for more such useful content.